I've had a really bad case of the reader's flu, so I have not been physically reading very much, but I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and that's left me with 10 books read for December, so let's do a wrap up. The first book is We Call Them Witches. This was an arc I got through NetGalley. It's a debut horror novel, so it has a little bit of minor issues, but I think overall it was really good and worth a read. The next book was The Dark Tower. I listened to this one on audio, and I'm going to say if you've made it this far in the series, you for sure need to read The Dark Tower. This is book 7. It had a phenomenal conclusion, but if you are on the fence of whether or not you should start the series, I would say read some of Stephen King's other works first. If you like his writing style, then you should read this series because so much of his other works connect with this one. Then I read The Road, and I listened to this one on audio and kind of followed along physically. I will say that this was a phenomenal book. It was beautiful, it was haunting. I loved so much about this. But the emotional damage that it gave me, I will never be able to forgive it. Then I read Krampus, which was all gas, no brakes. It was crazy and wild, but so much fun. Then I listened to Incidents Around the House. This is a horror novel told from the point of view of a kid who is being haunted by this ghost trying to possess them. And it is very scary. It's very spooky. The audiobook is narrated by someone who sounds just like a child, which really sells it. I was very freaked out while reading this, but I do feel like maybe like beyond just like being fun, did it really have much of an impact? No, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Then I read 107 Days, and this was very interesting just because she ran the shortest presidential campaign in history, so it presented a lot of like unique challenges. If you want to hear her reflect on her campaign, things that she would have done differently, things she would have done if she had more time, I definitely think it's worth a read. It feels weird to like rate a memoir or someone's like personal experience. It wasn't bad, but I can't say like it was like life changing, but it definitely was interesting. I read The Kill Clause, and honestly, if this had been free and like 70 pages and Christmas themed, I would not have read it. It was like entertaining, but it wasn't like great. And I don't think it's something I would like tell anyone to go seek out unless they were like looking specifically for a very short Christmas themed story. Then I half read, half listened to Shadow of the Gods, and then after finishing this, I actually went and listened to the full audiobook again. And I really did enjoy lots of aspects about this book. I loved the characters, the setting was really cool, it had a lot of cool fantasy elements. I just feel like it was kind of boring in parts. That kind of hurts me to say because Orca is such a phenomenal character. From the very beginning, I was very invested in her. I was screaming at some of the one-liners she was dropping. She was very cool, but I feel like with between the other characters, the pacing just wasn't there, and at times I had to like force myself to get through their POVs. By the end, I did like them more, but I can't say I was in love with them. I will be continuing the series, but I don't know. The book was kind of disappointing, and maybe it was me. Maybe I'm in the just like I'm down in the slumps and I'm not into a lot of what I'm reading. But also, I read it twice and I still feel the same. So sorry. Please don't cancel me. After that, I listened to All Systems Red, which is the very first murder bot, and I loved it. It was so fun. It was such a creative story. It was very unique. Then I listened to Paladin's Faith, which is the fourth book in the Saints of Steel series. It's kind of left open ended, so I do think there'll be more, but nothing's been announced. But this one was really fun. So that's what I read in December. Here's to January being better.